big news this week in the world of streaming and media because Paramount has significantly outbid Netflix. They are purchasing Warner Brothers Discovery. They will reportedly, from everything I've read, own all properties of Warner Brothers Discovery, which will include the linear, the streaming. They're going to merge Paramount Plus with HBO Max. And so that does come into the picture for AEW for two reasons. Not only because, one, we know that Warner Brothers does have, I believe it's a 9% stake in AEW, but two, we know now that the UFC, which is under TKO, which controls the UFC and WWE, is on Paramount Plus. And what we don't know is there some sort of restriction or rule under that contract that basically says you cannot import any competition, which would be under definition AEW, on our network?
By the way, UFC 326 is going down this Saturday. It will be Max Blessed Holloway defending
versus Charles
Du Bronx Oliveira. Thank you. For the BMF belt, it is going to be absolute barn burner. Do not miss it.
We call this cinema in the business. This is going to be absolute cinema.
Jalen, I love you every minute now.
What do we got to do to get Brandon Lewis to watch the UFC?
I don't know.
Give me John Jones. Give me Brock Lesnar back.
Oh, you mean the cokehead?
Yeah.
The most overrated fighting.
Give me stars. Give me marketing.
What about Sean O'Malley?
Never heard of him.
Stop
it.
Never heard of him.
What about Sean Strickland? What about Max Holloway?
Israel Adesanya?
Holloway sounds familiar. Adesanya does not.
Back
in the day, I used to watch UFC when they had Brock Lesnar and Cain Velasquez and Chuck Liddell.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so when all the cokeheads were running it, what about now?
Yeah. Back in the day, Conor McGregor. That was now UFC doesn't really have any stars they can market.
No, that's a bad take.
Anyway,
it's not a bad take.
Jalen, you and I will get more into UFC 326 down the road, or we can get more into UFC stuff on a different show. But anyway, by the way, AEW has been rocking these past few weeks. Last night's episode of Dynamite was fantastic. We ended up actually having 3 title matches on the show. There were only supposed to be 2, but we had
better than WWE has been in the last 2 months.
Fully agree with you there.
This whole show today is a gang up against me, and I'm totally okay with it. Go on, guys.
Revolution is going to be freaking insane. MJF versus Hangman in a Texas death match where Hangman has basically put the Cody Rhodes stipulation on himself. And it just got announced. You got Tekla against Chris Statlander for the Women's World Championship. 2 out of 3 falls. Brody King against Swerve Strickland. Bandito against Andrade. I'm sure there's other matches. FTR versus Young Bucks.
There we go.
Yes. And it was just announced Trios Championships. Kazuchika Okada, Kyle Fletcher, Mark Davis against Jet Speed and Mystico. So there you go. But in terms of this, I am very interested to see what comes of this, because with Warner Brothers purchasing Warner Brothers, I wonder if that means there's an opportunity for AEW to be on mainstream television and actually have an episode on CBS, for example. Maybe you don't run Dynamite on there every week, but if there's a special, huge episode of Dynamite, maybe you run it on CBS. And by combining Paramount with HBO, you're just expanding to a larger audience. More people get to see AEW and get to see real wrestling.
Well, that's why I'm wondering UFC is under the TKO umbrella, which is under WWE, which technically would be a rival to AEW. Is AEW going to be allowed to be on Paramount?
That's a good question. I mean, they should, just because, like, there is no WWE anything in UFC. They don't have logos anywhere. They don't have nothing.
No, but it's still part of the same company. When this whole conversation started about AEW and Warner Brothers, the point I made was there is a reason why WWE had made contracts with Netflix, Peacock, USA, CW, almost every streaming service in the world outside of Amazon Prime, which is what AEW has run their pay-per-views on, and obviously Max, because Nick Khan, WWE's president, and what's his name? Hawaii. I'm sorry, the Endeavor CEO. I'm blanking on his name. They want to pretty much take away all the avenues for AEW to get a new TV contract, and you can't tell me anything different.
I mean, you might be right, but you got to understand that AEW has been putting on banger shows since forever, and Josh is right. This is just going to expand with more people having these streaming services. People are going to realize that WWE is putting on a bullshit product, and they're going to come watch the better product.
Yes.
You guys think that, but it's just not true.
WWE is straight bullshit.
Okay, but again, you guys may think that, but to the mainstream audience, it doesn't matter. 75%.
But it will.
75% of people attending a WWE show, I guarantee you, have never even heard of AEW.
That's a lie.
No, it's not a lie.
Stop it. Stop.
I'm telling you. I am telling you, 75 to 80% of a paying customer that's in a WWE audience. I'm not talking about the people at home. I'm saying the people that go to shows. There are people that go to wrestling shows because they know the wrestling show is in town. And that's not AEW.
I'm pissed that you guys have Danhausen. You guys are just gonna waste him.
You guys. Again.
I told you Danhausen was in the crate. I told you.
So
I told everybody as well.